कौन कहता है आदमी अपनी किस्मत खुद लिखता है? बकवास है।
Yes, it's a good day for singing a song, and it's a good day for moving along. Yes, it's a good day. How could anything be wrong? A good day from morning till night.
Director, with the choice of music, has subtly established that the story will be anything other than a good day for lead protagonists. This is classic metaphor presentation. Any great story should get the first scene right in setting the tone and theme of the film. We see lead protagonist at the immigration desk of Mumbai International Airport. Any cinema will incorporate various elements like action scenes, romance, and high tension sequences to engage with the audience. But the maximum runtime of any story is just dialogue, dull and boring conversation between two or more characters. This may seem uninteresting to the audience, but the screenwriter and director meticulously craft each conversation to challenge an idea or preconceived bias and keep the audience as jury. Notice the exquisite blocking and staging technique showcased in the following scene. Amir is being scrutinized by the custom officer for his visit to India.
करते क्या हैं?
डॉक्टर हूँ।
और रहते कहाँ हैं?
A4 411 लखानी कॉम्प्लेक्स मलाड वेस्ट मुंबई 400।
वापस क्यों आए?
घर है मेरा।
सिर्फ घर वापसी के लिए आए हैं या कोई और कारण भी है?
जी?
This may seem like a regular inquiry, but the subtext of religion and terrorism is presented masterfully.
वीजा रिन्यू नहीं कर रहे हैं? करेंगे भी क्यों? डॉक्टर और इंजीनियर ही तो हैं जो इस देश का नाम रोशन कर रहे हैं।
क्लियर है?
फिर से चेक कर।
The incessant recheck of same information and the reluctance of officer to believe the factual statement is creating unease and rift within Amir. Conflict is a delicious ingredient for all great screenwriting, tried by many but mastered only by few.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर, कोई प्रॉब्लम है? सर मुझे लेट हो रहा है, बाहर घर वाले मेरे अंदर कर होंगे।
सबका कोई ना कोई इंतजार कर रहा है।
मेरा लगेज आप 3 बार चेक कर चुके हैं, नाम पता मैं आपको 4 बार बता चुका हूँ। मेरे पेपर्स आपके सामने हैं, प्लीज सर। सर मैं कोई चोर, टेररिस्ट या स्मगलर नहीं हूँ।
अब किसी के चेहरे पे तो लिखा नहीं होता कि वो टेररिस्ट है। चेक तो करना पड़ता है ना।
Clearly, now the audience knows this is more than just scrutinization, this is religious persecution because of the name lead protagonist carries, which is evident in this line.
मेरा नाम अगर अमर होता तब भी आप इतनी चेकिंग करते?
सर क्लियर है सब।
This exchange of dialogue has its own purpose, and the purpose is to aware and inform the audience of the subtext. Subtext is what character says and what he means. To the uninitiated, notice the camera angle for both the characters in the frame. A static, over-the-shoulder frame for each character coupled with a single wide shot. This is called as staging. Notice the over-the-shoulder background of a busy airport and second officer rumbling through the baggage of Amir. This is utilizing the space of the frame to set context and is called as blocking. This is classic filmmaking technique, the triangle method. All great dialogue has a hook, conflict, and results into a resolve. This scene ends with the subtext presented as the answer.
एक बार और चेक करना चाहेंगे?
नेक्स्ट। योर नेम?
अमर।
Use of symbolism is the most expressive way of storytelling, told usually by inanimate object to depict the state of emotional affairs within the characters. The toy here represents the central question asked by the director. Notice the toy is being keyed to perform exactly what the villain wants. Presumably, this reflects the despair and unwillingness of Amir to perform the required task. But the stakes are high. Lives of dear ones hangs in the hope of complying with the villain's demand. Now observe as the key toy begins to lose its energy and eventually stops to the point where it is chucked hard on the floor by villain. Representing Amir, the lead protagonist now has begun to doubt the requested task. This is resentment, there is resistance, and eventually the character in its core will have to decide if he wants to further oblige with the commands. There will be repercussions for his revolt. A conflict ensues internal to the ideology and philosophy of this common Muslim man. Should he budge? Should he complete the act? And will it assure freedom of his and his family? Or notice the color of the frame. The space is grim and saturated. The villain is in a silhouette intentionally to avoid any profiling, and the color of the toy is red, the same color as the suitcase, and red indicates imminent threat. Symbolism and color grading technique at its finest.
Living in now, the circumstances that a common man lives under. So that was where the inspiration came from. And terrorism is just the backdrop of the film. It's not the theme of the film. It's just the backdrop of the film.